Welcome to the Unspoken Files, where every story is more chilling than the last. From true crime and unsolved mysteries to the paranormal and the unknown, we uncover the darkest stories that demand to be told. If you're fascinated by real-life crime cases, haunted history, and the mysteries that leave us searching for answers, then you've come to the right place. Subscribe now and never miss a story that will keep you on the edge of your seat. For over a decade, a ruthless predator haunted Long Island, lurking in the shadows, preying on the vulnerable. He was a ghost, invisible yet ever-present, leaving behind no trace except for the victims he discarded like trash. The winds of Gilgo Beach whispered their silent cries, their remains buried beneath the cold sand, waiting to be found. It started with a desperate 911 call. Shannon Gilbert, a young woman running for her life, breathless, terrified, disappearing into the darkness. But when police searched for her, they uncovered something far more chilling. The bodies of 4 other women, wrapped in burlap, hidden along the dunes. And as the days passed, more were found, one after another, their stories lost in time, their lives stolen by a faceless predator who always seemed to be one step ahead. This was no ordinary crime. This was something far darker, a case that gripped the nation, sparking fear, obsession, and endless speculation. Who was the Long Island serial killer? How did he evade capture for so long? And why did it take over a decade for the shocking truth to finally come to light? This is the story of the Long Island serial killer, a tale of terror, deception, and secrets darker than anyone could have imagined. December 2010, a desperate search was underway. Police were combing the dark, frozen coastline of Gilgo Beach, looking for a missing woman, Shannon Gilbert. She had vanished months earlier after making a frantic 911 call, her voice filled with terror, pleading for help. But what they found that night was something far more horrifying than anyone could have imagined. Buried beneath the sand, hidden among the thick brush, were human remains. Not just one body, but 4 young women, each carefully wrapped in burlap, their lives stolen by a faceless predator, their identities unknown, their stories silenced. And yet, this discovery was only the beginning of something far darker. As investigators widened their search, more bodies surfaced, each one adding to the mystery, each one painting a picture of a serial killer who had gone undetected for years. 11 victims in total, scattered along the lonely stretch of Gilgo Beach. But who was behind these brutal killings? And why had he been able to evade justice for so long? This was no ordinary case. It was the work of a methodical, ruthless predator, a killer who had studied his victims, planned his crimes, and vanished into the shadows before anyone could catch him. For years, the case grew cold, leads dried up, the public began to forget. But the killer never stopped watching, never stopped waiting. And in 2023, the silence was finally broken. A name, a suspect, a man who had lived among them unnoticed for years. To the outside world, he was an ordinary citizen, an architect, a husband, a father. He blended into the fabric of society so seamlessly that no one had ever looked twice. But behind closed doors, he was something far more sinister. As investigators dug deeper, chilling details emerged, patterns hidden in plain sight, evidence that had long been overlooked. The walls of secrecy he had built around himself began to crumble. And when the truth came to light, it sent shockwaves across the nation. But was he truly the only one responsible? Or was the monster they had uncovered just one piece of a much darker puzzle? The case that had haunted Long Island for over a decade had finally reached a turning point. After years of frustration, false leads, and unanswered questions, investigators had a name, Rex Heuermann. To his colleagues and neighbors, he was nothing more than a reserved, middle-aged architect. A man who commuted to Manhattan, worked on high-profile projects, and lived a seemingly uneventful life. But behind that ordinary facade lay something far more sinister. The evidence against him was damning. DNA recovered from the crime scenes. Burner phones used to contact victims. A disturbing trail of online searches. Graphic, obsessive, revealing a mind consumed by darkness. Investigators painstakingly pieced together his digital footprint, tracking years of meticulous planning, secret communications, and chilling fantasies. Then, the final piece fell into place. Phone records placed him near the crime scenes. Surveillance footage confirmed his movements. The patterns became undeniable. The illusion of innocence crumbled. In July 2023, Rex Heuermann was arrested and charged with multiple counts of murder. The Long Island serial killer had a face, a name, a history. But was he truly the only one responsible? The Gilgo Beach killings spanned years, with gaps between the murders. Could one man alone have orchestrated it all? Or was there more to this web of horror? More names, more secrets, still buried beneath the shifting sands? Even with Heuermann behind bars, the mystery wasn't over. Investigators continued digging, searching for answers that had eluded them for far too long. Because in the shadows of Long Island, the echoes of the past still whispered, and the truth remained just out of reach. Even with Rex Heuermann behind bars, the shadows of the Gilgo Beach murders still linger. As of March 2025, his trial has not yet commenced, and no verdict has been reached. Pre-trial hearings are ongoing, and the trial date has yet to be set. The investigation remains active, with authorities continuing to explore potential connections to other unsolved cases and seeking further evidence related to the murders. Was this truly the end of the investigation, or just the beginning of another terrifying chapter? Authorities have confirmed Heuermann's involvement in multiple murders, but is he responsible for all of them? 11 bodies were found, but patterns in the killings suggest gaps, inconsistencies. Some victims fit his known modus operandi perfectly. Others did not. Did he have an accomplice? Was someone else operating alongside him, sharing in his dark obsession? Or worse, could another predator have been using the same hunting grounds? And then there's the most chilling question of all. Are there more bodies still waiting to be found? Despite the breakthrough, investigators continue searching for evidence, scouring cold case files and re-examining every detail. The sands of Gilgo Beach may still hold secrets yet to be uncovered. What do you think? Was Heuermann the only monster lurking in the dark? Or is the Long Island serial killer case far from over? Tell me in the comments what case or story you want me to decode next. Let us know your theories in the comments below, and stay vigilant. Because sometimes, the most terrifying answers are the ones we're not prepared to hear. At the Unspoken Files, we bring you deep dives into the most intriguing true crime cases. From unsolved mysteries to long-awaited justice, we uncover the details that others overlook. Stay with us as we continue to explore the cases that demand to be told. Be sure to follow for more compelling true crime investigations, because every story deserves to be heard.